It's a beautiful sunny September evening, but sadly these aren't sunglasses, these are 3D glasses. And I have to say, I didn't think I was still going to be wearing them. A couple of years ago, I predicted that 3D would be dead in 2 years' time. And a few of you have written in saying, well, hey, the 2 years is up. You were wrong, weren't you? Well, was I? Is 3D dead? It's still walking around, but like the zombies in Night of the Living Dead, that doesn't mean it's alive. The big 3D movie of the moment is Dredd 3D, a retelling of the Judge Dredd story, which has done very, very well at the UK box office. But the fact of the matter is that I have had tens, if not hundreds, of tweets, messages and emails from people out there in cinema-going land complaining about the fact that they wanted to watch Judge Dredd in 2D but were unable to. Yes, the figures for Judge Dredd 3D are skewed towards stereoscopy, but that's because people haven't been given the chance to watch it in 2D. But what about the so-called name directors who have gone over to the 3D side? Well, both Martin Scorsese and Ridley Scott, both filmmakers whose work I admire enormously, have made features in 3D, and whilst doing so, both declared themselves to be wedded to the format, that it was the format of the future. Strange then that both are now working in projects in 2D, and as I may have mentioned before, Ridley Scott went out of his way to mention just how great the 2D print of Prometheus actually looked. Does that sound like directors who are wedded to the format? Meanwhile, Werner Herzog, one of my all-time favourites, made Cave of Forgotten Dreams in 3D. His verdict at the end of it? That's it, I'm never doing that again. The biggest news, however, is that Guillermo Del Toro, one of my favourite filmmakers and the man behind the majestic masterpiece that is Pan's Labyrinth, has announced that his new film, Pacific Rim, is going to be available in 3D. A victory for stereoscopy? Well, not when you look at the backstory. See, Del Toro very specifically said, I didn't want to make the movie in 3D, because when you have things that big, the thing that happens naturally is you're looking at two buildings at 300 feet. If you move, the buildings don't go like this, moves his hands closer together. There's no parallax. They're so big that you barely notice anything no matter how fast you're moving. So to force the 3D effect on robots and monsters that are supposed to be that high, you're making them miniaturized. You're making them human scale. I knew that the 3D effect sounded like a great idea, but it was going to be counter. So what you have is one of the greatest directors currently working in cinema specifically stating that 3D is not right for their new movie, but having to issue it in 3D anyway. Why? Well, the story is that Warner Brothers have forced 3D upon Guillermo del Toro because without it, they can't get the film distributed in China. But some people have said, Mark, stop complaining. The film will also be available in 2D. Yeah, like Dredd 3D was available in 2D on almost no screens. Look, maybe I was wrong or over-optimistic. I said 3D was going to be gone, and it's demonstrably not. It's still here, rampaging its way through the world of cinema in the name of commerce rather than art. Is it dead? No. Is it alive? I don't think so.